before we officially start, let's just address a few things. I get ready in my office. I share my office, my home office, with my husband. There's his little spot. I have my corner, and I also just get ready in here. I do my hair in the bathroom, but makeup, no. Another thing, my lighting is, I don't want to say atrocious. It's fine, I think. I have a window and I have my little vanity mirror that has a light on it, and I'm just setting it up so that you can see for the most part. But you can see some shadows, some casts. We're just gonna work with it. I thought it would be great to just do a little sit down, get ready with me. I'm doing my makeup. I'll do something to my hair, probably nothing major. And then I'll show you my outfit too. My sister invited me to this little event with her kiddos and then with mine. So we're all gonna go and just hang out. And there's gonna be other moms and kids, and I think it's gonna be really fun. But I'm just gonna get ready. I'm doing my typical summer get ready, and this one is pretty quick and concise. I don't have a ton of time these days. I'm getting ready in the time that my daughter is napping. So I'm gonna do my makeup, my hair, and then get dressed. And then if I have to pack anything, that also needs to happen within that time frame. So let's get to it. Starting out, we are using Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. I have it in the color or in the shade 112 right now. I do have a little bit of a tan going on. Nothing too like drastic though, so I'm just sticking with the shade that has worked for me like in the springtime, and we're just making it work. I use the Real Technique sponge and I get it wet always, squeeze out the excess water. I use this sponge for every face product I put on. When I'm doing my makeup in the summer, it's not often very concise. It's just more of a little bit of coverage. I just like to even everything out on the days that I do my makeup. Within any given week, I'm probably doing my makeup in the summertime for sure once when we go to church. And then most weeks I've had at least one thing going on. Depending on what I'm doing, it's just, I like having a little bit of makeup done. It just makes me feel a little more put together. And I enjoy it. I like to do my makeup. I pretty much blended out all of that. I go back and forth with like my next step. This is what we're going with today. I reached for it. So my concealer is by e.l.f., the Hydrating Camo Concealer. I use shade Fair Beige. This stuff has lasted me a while. I've tried many different concealers, but this shade and like the finish, so much about it has just done wonders for me. And I haven't had to repurchase one because I haven't run out yet. So what I just put on, honestly, is probably too much. But I probably could have put on half of that, just like a little dot, and had plenty of coverage. For this step, I like to dab it out almost completely. And I really just focus my concealer on my under eyes these days. I didn't blend it all the way out, but I'm using it mainly for brightening. So I'm just pulling it all the way up there, and I'm pulling it all the way out here. I'm not blending it completely out just yet. I'm gonna let this rest for a bit while I do my eyebrows. This is another e.l.f. product, my tried and true Instant Lift Brow Pencil, and I grabbed the shade Taupe. The other brown shades were either like too warm, too dark, and then they ended up just looking just too heavy. For my brows, I want to be able to fill in where they're a little more sparse. I like to be able to shape my brows. So I'll give it a nice tail, and then I try to straighten out this bottom part. I think that's a little heavier than I normally do, probably because I'm talking and I wasn't really focused. Now for that concealer, we're going to come back to it. Again, I'm using the sponge for all of my face products. My concealer has rested a little bit. I'm now just going to do a few more dabs of it to blend it out. And I like to put this concealer on my eyelids as well, and it just all looks a little more cohesive. Okay, so that's it for my concealer. Now let's jump to bronzer and blush. I think I discovered this at the start of the summer. It is a liquid bronzer and contour by e.l.f., of course. And I was just drawn to this because, again, I was just looking for something that's easy to blend out, minimize all these steps I have, and this really did it for me. Find the shade that works for you. I grabbed the Fair Light. I didn't need anything too dark. I'm looking for kind of like a subtle bronze. And the fact that this can be a contour and bronzer is really cool. And you can just, depending on the shade, just make it do what you want it to. It has this nice little doe foot. I've pretty much gotten this down to just a few steps. I tend to put it in the same exact spot every time. I'm just trying to do the parameters of my face. When I do it on like my cheekbone, whatever, I keep it a little higher when I place it. I like to keep it up because then I can kind of blend it down if I need to. And then I'm adding it around just like my nose a little, and then on the jawline. We're gonna blend it out. So I'm just gonna swap to that side. I can tell it's the side I use for my bronze because I use it for my blush too. So when this is all said and done, my bronzer and my blush pretty much work together. Honestly, you guys, I'm taking a lot more time. I think because I'm talking. Blend, blend, blend. Just trying to create that like the shadow effect. Lastly, just kind of getting on that jawline. And I just like how that skin tint sits and it kind of like melts in like perfectly for me. So after I'm done blending all of the bronzer / contour, I'm taking that whatever is left and I like to just put it on the eyelid, trying like keep it up in that crease area. I don't usually notice much come off at all, and I don't even think it's applying much. But as much as I can to just tie in the same shades where I can, I like to do that. It just makes it more cohesive. All right, last step before we do mascara. My blush is Milani, always. My fall winter shade is this one. It's called Nude Kiss. It's more of a like deeper, kind of like mauve-y color. And then my summertime, sometimes I'll start using it in the spring, is the shade Coral Crush. So this one's more like a bright, just like that bright poppy coral. So sponge, same side as I did my bronzing contour cream. I'm using this, and it's considered a cream blush. I'm just kind of dabbing, doing a few pounces, starting on the upper, just like up here on the cheekbone and bringing it in. Blush used to be scary to me, but I've seen more and more girls putting it like here and bringing it up, which like I said was scary. It used to be scary, but it does seem much more natural. Like you think of the spots where like the sun would hit you, you're gonna get a little pink, probably in your nose, here, maybe like up here, right? I'm not scared anymore to just go around with the black. How I did the contour, I also put a little bit on my eyelids. I don't think a ton comes off, but it's just something. Just a few more steps. This is, depending on what I'm doing, a step that I may or may not skip. I'm gonna go for it today. Just a tiny bit of eyeliner by e.l.f., the No Budge retractable eyeliner. I grabbed the color Coffee. I have a backup, which is great, and then I can put this in my empties box to share about later. I am just doing the tiniest little lining of my outer upper lid, trying to get it close to the lash line, just to make the lash line look a little more full. Adds a little more dimension. Okay, we need to match it, so I'm just trying to make a match. I want a little heavier over here. So that's it for eyeliner. Like, that's all I do. Next, we're doing the Voluminous. This is a base primer for your mascara. So I'm gonna apply this just to my upper lash lines. Upper lash lines? What? I'm applying this to my upper lashes. I'm not super strategic. I'm just trying to make sure I'm coating the extent of the lash. Trying to get it at the base, as close to the base as I can, and just fanning it out. All right, perfect. Well, so we're gonna let that dry down a little bit. What I like to do while that's happening, I grab my powder. I use Airspun loose face powder, tried and true forever and ever. Translucent, extra coverage. The scent might not get over, but it does not bother me. Sometimes I'll take the corner of this where I use my concealer, but more often I'll use this little sponge. It's by Beauty Blender. I know they have a beauty sponge. There's so many of these little powder puffs. I believe this is supposed to be a dual-sided. I never use this side. I only use this side to get into my corner. The only areas I put my powder, I try to get it right in that inner corner, right under my under eye to help with some of that creasing. I don't pull it too far out because I'm not trying to disrupt the blush that we did, but sometimes, depending on how much blush I put on, this does help kind of like mute it a little bit, and then it helps it set. But I'm just not setting a ton in the summertime. I like to have that glowy look. And then I drag just a little bit down where I will get oily, which is right here. And that's it for powder. By this time, my eyelash primer, I think, is good to go. If not, pretty much my last step here is my mascara. And I use Lash Paradise in the color Latte Brown. Really into brown eyeliner, mascaras. I just really like what the color shade does for blue eyes. I just think it's pretty. I will use black every now and then, especially if I'm trying to go for a more like dramatic look. And then I just do a little sweep on the lower lash line. The lighting is like, that's it for my makeup. I don't have it on me, but I'll show a picture. I think I must have left it upstairs. It's my top up spray. It's like a setting mist, but it's also like SPF. It's really a really great product. I would recommend it. I'm checking the time. I think I said I was gonna do something to my hair. I honestly think I'll be able to put dry shampoo and brush it out and then do like a low ponytail. I have no idea. This is very realistic. I don't have a ton of time, so what I really need to do is brush my teeth and change and then pack all baby stuff, and then we'll see if I have time for hair. But eventually at some point I will show you my outfit and everything and the finished look, so stay tuned for that. All right, so you literally just had time to, I just brushed my hair and put some dry shampoo. Going back and forth on the hat, I'm not sure about it. I knew I wanted to wear these red shorts. I just think they're so beautiful and they're super comfy. Inspired by Lulu, but they're from Target. They have they're shorts and they have the built-in layer underneath, and they're just like flowy and super comfy. We're gonna go with this. I'm gonna wear some white sneakers, and like I said, the hat we're gonna go back and forth with. Edging is cute because it says mama. It says mama on it. I think this is the finished look, but maybe I'll check back in later, and because who knows, I only have like 10 minutes, but that's enough time to change literally everything, so I'll check in later. All right, here we are checking in. I think it's like 3 hours later. So I ditched the hat. I had my hair down, except for when I just got home because I had to carry everything in. So I put my hair up in a ponytail, but we were indoors, so I wasn't like out and sweating. If we were outside, I probably would have worn something totally different, but this is, yeah, what we went with. I just wanted to give you a different perspective on the makeup. The makeup isn't like extremely like full coverage. Like I have some like breakouts happening right now, and I'm not too worried about it. You know, summertime, I just kind of want to look glowy. I want to look a little bronzy. And I think I was able to achieve that with my makeup. All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you're still watching, would you please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already? Give this video a like, and then I would love it if you could comment. I'm just really trying to get an idea of who's watching. I would love to connect with you. So would you please consider just leaving a comment saying hi, Maybe you could tell me what your favorite makeup product is right now. Maybe if you're not into makeup, you can let me know that too. But I'd really love to connect with you guys watching my videos. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, guys. I'll see you in my next one.